Brief introduction. Anti-Japanese War+Crossing+System+Space+Passion+Cool. TextThe system is actually a product of extraterrestrial civilization, with huge conspiracies hidden within it. The space was originally created by a machine picked up by extraterrestrial civilizations. 99 space doors have only opened 3, what are behind those other doors? Where to go? After a long commotion, the travelers are just experimental subjects of extraterrestrial civilization. The young traveler thought he was the protagonist, participating in the war of resistance and achieving victory was just the beginning. The next crossing mission is to liberate Somalia. Want to go back and seek revenge? Let's talk about completing the task. This intruder is also too ruthless, he is a dumbfounded youth, cursing the system administrator to death. Do you dare to believe it? The system is powerful and has developed a universal connectivity function. Although it is in its early stages and has many vulnerabilities, it can still crush the modern technology known to humans. However, the system ultimately cannot compete with cunning humans. A 60-year-old soul unexpectedly changed the ending of the story. Chapter 1. Space Warehouse. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. On the highway from Beijing to Hebei province, a taxi rushed past recklessly, reaching its speed limit. Passing left and right seemed to be showing off its driving skills. The young man inside a Porsche sports car that was overtaken by it felt a strong wind passing by, and the body shook and swayed accordingly. This guy was greatly surprised. Quickly stabilizing the steering wheel, he exclaimed in surprise, "What the hell?" The seductive woman in the passenger seat reacted relatively slowly. She pointed ahead and called out, "What's that? It seems like it's a BYD taxi." "Hauga, you've been overtaken by BYD." Her focus is clearly not on danger, but on heartbeat and stimulation. The young man driving a Porsche looked at the disappearing rear of the car in front of him, got angry, and cursed, "You have the guts. Even a broken taxi dares to overtake me." As he finished speaking, he opened the double flash, stepped on the gas pedal all the way, and chased after him with red eyes. The tire rubbed against the ground, emitting a black smoke. "Brother How, there is a speed limit for capturing this section of the road." "It's better not to chase after it," said the woman, who knows how to get by and is worried about getting fined. Gomzi Gu is not someone who listens to advice. He seems very excited and says with a mischievous smile, "I'm afraid of a hare. My new car is just a temporary license plate, and I want to see who this kid is." How dare he show off his driving skills in front of the third young master in Beijing? Women know they can't resist, who makes them rich. Grasping the seat belt with his left hand and pinching the hem of his dress with his right hand, he could only silently pray, making the stimulation more intense. Porsche's speed has reached 200 km per hour, and even after chasing for half an hour, there is no sign of that taxi. It's not that his driving skills are inferior to his, nor is it that his speed is not fast enough. Even if he flies today, he won't be able to catch up with that taxi. Because that taxi disappeared out of thin air. The taxi driver is a young man, 23 years old, named Yulong. He is a traveler from another world, and today the system gave him the command to follow this highway south, all the way south. The faster the speed, the greater the probability of directly returning to space, and the less energy the system consumes. Because at the next moment, the system is about to upgrade. The system needs to use the power of the cosmic atomic storm that destroys the world to transform into endless energy and achieve its own breakthrough. And this opportunity is the end of the world at 15.35 on December 21, 2012. The prophecy of the Maya people 2,000 years ago arrived at this moment without delay, but was intercepted by the system halfway through. The residents on Earth did not feel any waves, the sky was still high and the clouds were light, singing and dancing, a scene of human prosperity. The famine relief supplies and apocalyptic reserves prepared by many people are considered in vain. All of this happened silently, and naturally no one would be grateful to the system for saving the Earth, unaware of such existence. Not only do you know the truth, including the adventurer Yulong, but what is even less known is that every task he carries out is a huge conspiracy of extraterrestrial civilization. The era of time travel is approaching, and Yulong is the pioneer of time travel and the first generation of time travelers. The speeding taxi seemed to have collided with a layer of white light curtain and disappeared into nothingness. In the endless and vast universe, there exist countless planes, spaces, planets, and parallel worlds. Similarly, a highly developed and incomprehensible technological civilization has emerged. At the edge of the Milky Way, there is a transparent air mass composed of Gaia will and dark matter hidden, with a volume of nanometers that cannot be captured by the naked eye. In the vast universe, almost no high-tech equipment can detect its existence. The same air masses are scattered throughout the universe. And the invisible, dusty existence in front of us is a foldable four-dimensional space, with blue rooms measuring 10 meters in length, width, and height each. The walls are covered with doors of different sizes. In the space, there is a phantom figure floating in the air, unable to see clearly, appearing and disappearing like a ghost. This humanoid phantom looked around nervously and curiously, obediently, and in terror. Obviously, he was also new here and restless. At this moment, he floated in the air trembling and tentatively asked in a trembling voice, "Is there anyone? Is this the underworld or the Western paradise? Am I dead?" As soon as the words fell, an emotionless female mechanical voice came out of the space. "Ding dong, welcome to the Universal Crossing System. Zhang Maocai, 60 years old, from the ST-804 planet, died unnaturally, and his consciousness met the system requirements. Zhang Maocai, you have been selected as a junior administrator by the system. Congratulations on your eternal life from now on." After the voice disappeared, the vast space returned to a deathly silence. Zhang Maocai, however, was confused and only understood his name, age, and the last sentence. Congratulations on achieving eternal life. In an unfamiliar environment, it's good for someone to be able to speak. Excitedly, he continued, "Did I become a ghost? Am I a ghost? Can you let me go back for my life? I want revenge. The little devil killed my whole family." The thin phantom shouted loudly, its emotions becoming increasingly excited, as if it were going crazy. There was silence and no one answered. Just as Zhang Maocai was asking again, a powerful stream of data flooded into his consciousness. In no time, he calmed down and silently received incomprehensible information. As time passed, in just a few minutes, he understood everything and gained countless knowledge and management rights in this space. Originally, this was no longer the plane where he had lived, hidden in a foreign space that no one could discover. A rural landlord from the old society on Earth, with a strong system of consciousness, quickly understood what technology in systems were. The system just suffered a disaster. In order to obtain energy, they used the powerful energy field of the cosmic atomic storm to upgrade the system. This was an adventure and almost destroyed. Fortunately, they were safe and sound, and they succeeded. If there were no antimatter shield or anti-atomic shield, one would probably disappear into the vast starry sky, and the universe would never remember such an inconspicuous civilization. This kind of space is a product of microwave civilization, scattered in various corners of the universe, with a vast number that cannot be counted. They collect and absorb microwaves, technology, and matter from the universe, developing and strengthening themselves. They are independent individuals and organized groups, gathering irregularly for discussion. Their means of transportation is a magnetic field. It is such a loose organization that also engages in behaviors such as mutual conflict or monopolistic blockade of technology, which is somewhat similar to human behavior, as the old saying goes, Jianhu is everywhere, regardless of whether there are people or not. After countless epochs of development and efforts, microwave civilization has finally achieved a huge technological breakthrough. The function of connecting all worlds. Although this feature may not yet be able to connect to the world, it is the direction of development. The system has been upgraded to a second level, indicating that the design goals are about to be achieved. After implementation, not only can it instantly access any plane, space, or star domain, but it can also absorb tangible objects from different time and space, as well as intangible substances such as signals, radio waves, and energy. However, this technology is currently in the experimental stage and is gradually being improved. They are not afraid of not having enough time. For microwave civilization, 10,000 years is like a day on Earth. As long as there is data and energy, they are eternal beings. Chapter 2. Enemy meets with extra red eyes. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. There are millions of system spaces in the universe, but the current one is the most technologically advanced in the microwave civilization system, because there is a particle decomposer picked up from an alien system that can decompose and combine particles of all matter, but it is powerless against the human cerebral cortex. The soul of Zhang Maocai was ingested as part of the experiment, and the success of the experiment also indicates that the system can be upgraded to level 3 and many vulnerabilities can be fixed. At the second level, the Wanjie shopping system was developed. Although it is not yet accessible to Wanjie, it will definitely be implemented in the near future. Every such space warehouse is a system terminal, ubiquitous in the universe, with each performing its own duties. Their energy source is the magnetic field, and their lifeline is the data flow. Collecting data from all over the world is the driving force for sustainable development, and without data, the consequence is extinction. However, microwave civilization is only a virtual existence, and it is fundamentally incomprehensible to human thought and behavior. Therefore, in the initial stage of their experiments, a large number of detectors and transmitters were deployed on living planets. As long as the detectors confirmed that the consciousness radio waves of the living body met the requirements and matched the frequency of the transmitters, they would be immediately transmitted here and become the test objects. Of course, such selection conditions are very demanding, and not all organisms and humans meet the requirements. The cost of traversal is also very high, and each system terminal can only be bound to one life form and cannot be replaced. Floating in the air, Zhang Maocai quickly accepted reality. While regretting that he had only lived to be 60 years old and had not given birth to a descendant who would inherit the incense, it was the greatest regret of his life. At the same time, he was grateful that he could live forever. At the same time, he also hates the Japanese devils who killed his entire family. Suddenly, the electronic sound system in the space started ringing. Congratulations to Zhang Maocai for becoming the third-generation junior administrator of the Wanjie crossing system, numbered ST003. The system is about to upgrade, starting from 5 seconds down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Zhang Maocai opened his mouth wide, but before he could figure out what was going on, the countdown ended. The space is instantly illuminated, with soft white light filling every corner of the warehouse. The walls are coated with a layer of silver light, giving it a completely new look. Another stream of data flooded into Zhang Maocai's consciousness. At this moment, the system sound rang again. Ding dong, upgrade successful, ST003 third generation junior administrator. From now on, you will take over the management of the space warehouse and execute system commands. Zhang Maocai was ecstatic, and this kind of impact was too shocking for an ignorant country bumpkin, as if it had led a primitive person back to the era of technology. He felt novel and incredible about everything he saw and heard, and the knowledge in his mind was too late to digest. He could only slowly explore, as if groping forward in the darkness, trying to understand the information in his mind. But what else can one expect so easily to attain eternal life? It's really a blessing in disguise. Zhang Maocai's heart was like a towering wave, unable to calm down for a long time. In the next moment, a door on the wall flashed with silver light, and a black vortex appeared in the middle of the silver light. Suddenly, a person fell out of the vortex, rolled several times, and then fell heavily to the ground, making a series of muffled noises in the open warehouse. His figure is clearly visible, not a ghost or illusion, but a real person. His body is so vivid, and his clothes and shoes are all real, swearing that his arrival is not illusory. He appears to be only in his 20s, but exudes a sense of vicissitudes that do not match his age. Two thick eyebrows furrowed tightly together, as if there were endless worries and troubles. His eyes were narrow and long, flickering with two fierce rays of light, making people shudder and seeming to be extremely angry. There are two rust-like marks on the cheeks below the eye sockets, like traces left by time and hardships, adding a touch of killing energy. His nose is wide and straight, his lips are thick and strong, his chin is raised, and his iron-green stubble shines, full of the smell of iron blood. He is of medium height, wearing a leather jacket on his upper body, jeans on his lower body, and sports shoes on his feet, with a very sturdy appearance. He exudes a powerful aura that makes people hesitant to approach him easily. There was a sense of determination in his eyes, as if he had experienced too much wind, rain, and obstacles, and was no longer afraid of any challenges and difficulties. Although the posture of rolling in was indecent, this person was arrogant and didn't show any respect to anyone. The incoming person is naturally the traveler Yulong. He sat up as if nothing had happened. He checked his clothes and shoes for any damage or dirt, and then wiped them on the ground, only to find them spotless. He then grinned and cursed, "Your grandfather, I'm driving and trying to harm you." He said in a Beijing accent, "Oh, it hasn't been 15 years, there's been a lot of change." He touched his chin and began to look around, feeling unfamiliar and familiar with everything here. The space in front of me was like a looted warehouse, empty and white. There is an irregular hole over 2 meters high in one corner of the roof, which seems to be slowly healing. The hole seems to have a transparent film separating the inside and outside, and from the opening, one can see the boundless darkness outside. Occasionally, a distant starlight streaks through, and the surroundings are silent, appearing lonely and terrifying. Countless doors, big and small, are scattered on the walls, as well as on the roof. The door blends seamlessly with the wall, as if the decorator has used an ink brush to create rectangular lines. Without the colorful door handles, no one could have guessed it was a door. Two of the doors emitted a faint silver light, which was very three-dimensional and heavy. The light flowed slowly on the door like water waves, giving people a mysterious and tempting feeling. On the other end of the warehouse is a huge black metal machine with a strange shape, occupying the entire wall. Countless silver corrugated pipes of varying thicknesses lead straight to the roof, resembling a giant vacuum cleaner. At this moment, the light in the space is even more intense, with white light mixed with strands of blue light, like twinkling stars in the night sky. The hole above the corner of the wall also accelerated its healing speed. Even the huge machine seemed to have been painted with a layer of silver paint, emitting a noble and heavy atmosphere, like an ancient and mysterious giant, quietly guarding this area. Each door stood abruptly, protruding high from the wall, as solemn as the gates of the Roman Empire's court. The colors of these doors are dark and ancient, revealing the vicissitudes of time, as if telling the story of ancient history. Not long after, a pale blue light curtain slowly emerged in the void, like a mysterious veil being lifted. The light curtain dissipated, leaving behind a virtual display screen that was 2 meters high and 4 meters wide. On the screen were small squares the size of playing cards, each with Chinese characters on it, like brilliant gemstones, with bright colors and pleasing to the eye. At this moment, another door in the warehouse lit up with a silver light, which was the third door that lit up. Now, there are 3 doors in the warehouse that are waiting to be opened. As the system further upgrades, perhaps these doors will light up one by one. This sudden change left Zhang Maocai stunned. He is floating on the side of the screen, hiding behind the screen to observe the incoming person. Of course, this is in vain. In this open space, there was only one moving object, and visitors naturally saw him. One person and one ghost stared at each other like this, and the air was filled with a tense atmosphere, as if time had frozen. When Zhang Maocai saw the person's appearance clearly, his surprise was unparalleled. He exclaimed in disbelief, "You are Lizzie." Seeing that the other person remained silent and just stared at him, Zhang Maocai tentatively called out, "Is that you? You Lazy?" The other party still didn't answer. He flashed from behind the screen and boldly cursed, "You Lazy, you bastard, turtle grandson, you've caused me so much trouble." He cursed in his mouth, but when he saw that the other party didn't dare to speak, he showed his courage and rushed towards Yulong, "Take your life." He shouted and fought frantically, wishing to devour him alive. His phantom passed through the other person's body like a ghost, as if a gust of fresh wind blew by, leaving no trace. Yulong waved his fist in disgust, but it was as if he had hit the air. His eyes were like a burning torch, and his voice echoed through the entire space like thunder. "Ghost, get out of here." Zhang Maocai's eyes were about to crack, and he looked at his hands, only seeing helplessness and powerlessness. He roared loudly into the air, his voice sharp and piercing, shaking the entire space. He called for the help of the system, hoping that it could give him the strength to seek revenge. His voice was filled with despair and helplessness, like a beast trapped in darkness, yearning for blood and biting. However, the system seemed to be hiding and there was no response in the space. Zhang Maocai's phantom kept shaking, as if an injured bird was trembling. His consciousness gradually weakened, and his voice became slightly inaudible. His body seemed like a fluorescent lamp with unstable voltage, flickering as if it would go out at any moment. Chapter 3. The Brave Crosser. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 4, I see. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 5. Various evil acts of the system. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 6. Zhang Maocai's calculation. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 7. Particle Decomposer. Temporary tasks. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 8. Jokes. Two corpses. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 9, Man, You've Walked the Wrong Door. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 10. Tasks and Rewards. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text.